Hello and welcome. This is the second episode of the FPMG Business and Entrepreneurship podcast with me, your host, Philip. And today joining me is Patrick, all the way from sunny but a little bit rainy Spain. And
Yeah,
hello, Patrick. How are you today?
I'm great, man.
That's good. That's
Uh,
good.
yeah, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. So this is the second episode, and I just want to, before we start, address some of the feedback that I got from the first episode, which was in Croatian. So if you know Croatian, you can go back and listen to that. Uh, a logo is on the way. We don't have a logo now, but one has been commissioned. So we're gonna up the production value a little bit and make this podcast a little bit more professional, and also introduce a jingle. So there's some music at the start because I know that's what all the podcast professionals are doing. So we gotta do the same, and that's something I have to look into because, of course, royalties and copyright and all that stuff. But that will be a thing that'll happen. So we're gonna have a nice, good looking, good sounding podcast on the way soon. And just to introduce myself, my name is Philip once again, and I'm living here in Denmark. I'm originally from Croatia, but I grew up in the US. And right now I'm working as sort of a freelance entrepreneur with my own marketing agency. And today with me is, yes, Patrick. Patrick, you and I met briefly about half a year ago, actually. And as
Yes.
as I know, we actually studied the same education here at the Business Academy. We both studied innovation and entrepreneurship. Of course, you were a few years ahead of me, and since then, you have been working with some other startups and some other companies. You were the regional manager for Swap Feet, which is a bicycle renting company here in Denmark. Then you moved on to this startup that was doing these hand pump sanitizer stations when the outbreak started, and then afterwards you were briefly part of the Vebu project, which was the vegan burger startup that we started last year, but didn't get to take off, unfortunately, because of some unlucky circumstances. And then since then, you moved to Spain a few months ago, and maybe you can tell us about what you've been doing in Barcelona.
Okay, so yeah, I moved to Spain. I quitted the Vebu project. Unfortunately, still close to my heart though. But yeah, I got the opportunity to move to Spain. It's always been a dream to move out of Denmark actually. So I grabbed it, and now I'm trying to help a startup called Kleta, short for Bicicleta. We're doing it's called subscription-based bicycling. So people sign up for a bike, and then we have everything included in the monthly subscription. So there's like a big issue here in Spain is theft. So we have anti-theft guarantee in the subscription, and of course maintenance. So you can always get your bike serviced if there's anything wrong with it. And what I'm specifically working on right now is actually getting the machine ready to scale. Um, so in the long run, like not in that long run, in a few months, I'm gonna lead the expansion to other Spanish city. In the beginning, it's just Spain. Uh, yeah, and right now I'm just tuning our engine to actually go there because we're still very startup-ish. We are a team of 6 right now, two founders, me and another one, and two mechanics. So it's a very small and very cool team to work with. It's very startup vibe, like just how I like it. Yeah, so that is basically what I'm doing right now to get it ready to scale.
That's cool. So and let's start with this team. So it's six of you guys, and you're Danish. Some of the guys are Spanish. What's the makeup
Okay,
there?
so it's a pretty cool team because I think we're only one Spanish guy in the
Oh,
team.
only okay. That is cool.
Uh, yeah, it's quite cool. So we have one of the founders is German, lived in like the whole world, so he's not that German, but all of them speak Spanish besides me.
Okay.
So we have one German, then we have one from Argentina, and then we have one from Venezuela, one from Chile, one from Denmark. me, and then one from Spain.
Okay, so a lot of South Americans. That's cool.
Yeah, we have South Americans.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
That's
it's
cool.
it's super cool. It's kind of diverse. So
And how did you end up even joining this team as somebody who wasn't in Spain, doesn't speak Spanish? How do they find you?
yeah, it was quite a coincidence. It was like it was very weird actually. As you know, in Denmark, when you are unemployed, you need to look for jobs, of course.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and yeah, you've probably been there. So I was just like I wanted to also go out of Denmark eventually, but it was one of these weeks where I didn't really want to look for a job. You have these weeks also.
Yep.
So I was just I know an agency here in Barcelona. One of my former classmates were actually working in that one before. So I just contacted them for a job post that they made, and the feedback was that it was not really suitable for my background. I totally agree on that. I just did it to put it on the
Of course.
on JobNet.
Fill in the quota. Yeah, yeah.
So I did that, and then they came back to me like, this is not really for you, but we actually know these guys that we can put you in contact with that is doing something that suits your background well because swap fits. Um, so we made the contact at that point, and then was just like kind of love at first sight, I guess. I talked to one of the founders, and then he talked to the other founder, and then suddenly I was in Barcelona like 1 month after. It was very fast. It went super fast from the first contact to when I got here.
Yeah. And
It was
how is it?
coincidence.
How is it sort of adjusting from Danish life to Spanish life? How has that been?
You need to get your expectations down on the efficiency part.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Have you
so
started siestaing? Are you partaking in the siesta, the daily siesta?
no, I didn't get to that yet.
Okay.
The thing is, like when you get here as a foreigner, you need to have a number, just like the CPR we have in Denmark.
Yep. Yep. Your
We
like
have
national ID number. Yep.
yeah, it's called NIA. Luckily, we have a lawyer at the company that is dealing with all that stuff.
Hmm.
But to get it, I needed to drive 1 hour and 40 minutes off the train to another city
Okay.
uh, to go to a police station with a bunch of papers. Like my full passport needed to be covered. Also, the pages that you don't use for anything, like the stamp pages,
Okay.
all of it needs to be copied. You need to have like it's a lot of things. Also, my
And
contract.
you couldn't do this in Barcelona? You had to drive to some other like city
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah, you
else?
need to make appointments, and they make me the appointment out there because
Yeah.
I think it's shorter time there.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then it ended up with like it was not correctly filled out, so I was there the whole day. It was
Oh, geez.
something that should have been taken 20 minutes, but I was there the whole day. And it ended out actually it was not the right one I was getting anyway. So I'm still waiting for the right
Oh,
one
wow.
to
Okay.
actually
So
yeah.
it's been a big bureaucratic mess.
Yeah, and it is the same with it's like you need that number to actually get a bank account. You need that number to
Yep.
get
To do
phone
everything.
number. You need it
Yep.
yeah to do everything. So when I got it, then I tried to get the phone number, but you can only have a phone number if you have a Spanish account here. So I tried to get the Spanish account, and you can only have a Spanish account if you have a phone number. So it's so I
Okay.
found this startup, a German startup that's actually doing Spanish accounts,
Hmm.
just like Revolut, if you know that.
Yep.
And it was 20 minutes. I got it, and it's like yes. And then I was like, finally, I can get my phone number. And no, it was not that easy. So, but
Okay.
eventually, that is something you need to adjust to from Denmark because Denmark is
Absolutely.
super
Super
efficient. You can
efficient
get it like
with all
this.
the stuff. Yeah. I think
Yeah, yeah,
we had in Croatia. I mean, this is like Southern Europe in general. The bureaucracy is just a big fat mess, and you need to have
yeah,
physical. And nothing is digital. Everything is physical. I remember there
yeah.
was
That's the
there was a
problem.
thing there was a thing in the news in Croatia, like I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago. Some Swedish woman, I think she married a Croatian man, and they moved back to Croatia. And she was like writing a blog about how she was adjusting from Scandinavian life to Croatian life, and like she had this big complaint that apparently it was in the media about how awful and horrible the bureaucracy is because yeah, compared to how it is in Denmark and in general in the north, it's just like you tell people. I mean, what you told this to your family, I'm assuming, right? Well, how did they react?
No, they were just like they expected the same because they know how it is also in Southern Europe.
Yeah.
The problem in Southern Europe is that it is not that corrupt that you can actually use corruption that like you can in Africa where I also have been. That is
That's
easy to
extreme.
that's easy to go about like the bureaucracy in that way, but you can't do that here. So you need to wait, and that's just the pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And in business wise, it's the same. It's like you need to keep people like pushing people all the time, otherwise they won't do it, and you need to like almost do that job to actually get the result that you want, and it's just a pain in the ass to keep. But other than that, I love it here.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. But sort of,
Yeah.
I'm curious then, how much of this, because you mentioned that the business is like, yeah, you have to push people. How much of that is present maybe in your colleagues? Because they come from different countries. Is that something that like the South American colleagues, are they also sort of shocked by it like you, or are they just as familiar with it?
No, they have been here a longer time, so they know how it is,
Okay.
and yeah, they're used to it, and also like it is in a startup it's different because we are pushing forward. We want to, we want to achieve shit. So they have a different mindset, but they know how it is here because they lived here for a longer time.
Okay.
And also it is kind of think same in their home countries, so it's
Yeah, I can imagine.
so they have it under the skin, not like me that is new here, and I don't think I will ever adapt to it, but I will kind of trying to accept it. I think that's I don't think that's a culture that I want. Yeah, I don't think that's a culture that I want to adapt in.
Yeah.
To be more inefficient.
Yeah, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is, but like people here is amazing anyway. So it is like you need to. Denmark also have its flaws, so like I think that is like in every country. There's some bad stuff, and then there's some good stuff.
That's true. That's true.
And then you need to see what is most valuable for you.
So, but for you so far, it's going in the right direction.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's
Spanish
good.
is improving a little bit, un poco. So that is also good.
What are you doing? Are you doing like Duolingo, or have you actually enrolled in like a class?
I'm doing Duolingo. I don't have time to go to classes actually because I'm working a lot, but I'm doing Duolingo, trying to do it with colleagues. Also, we haven't been that good at it until now, but we have like the daily phrase that I need to learn. So one of my colleagues is making a daily phrase that is useful in everyday life.
Okay, that's good.
So we're trying to do that, but we're also talking about with one of the founders to actually get me a teacher somehow because it will be valuable when I'm doing the expansion here in Barcelona. I can go about with English, but it is also a problem to like this. The English is not like in Denmark. So it can be a problem to actually communicate with people, and that's something we need to try to eliminate by teaching me Spanish instead of teaching all people English.
Definitely a good idea. Yeah. But I think
it's also a cool
Spanish
language.
Is not
also
that difficult. I mean, I took Spanish in high school. I took it even like at a course when I was living in Croatia. I did it on Duolingo for a while. It's pretty manageable, Spanish.
I also think it depends on where you come from, because like there's a lot of similar languages. Like I just realized that Romanian and Spanish is quite close to each other, so they are
it's in the same family.
So they're very easily to adapt the language. For me, it's muy difícil. It's very difficult. I think it's
completely different.
Yeah, also the way that they put the wordings and stuff. It's you need to to have that in mind every time. So but eventually it will get there.
That's good.
I hope so. That's what I'm aiming for.
Is the cerveza and sangria helping?
Definitely. I definitely know how to order 2 large beers. That's for sure.
That's something you should learn in every language in every country that you're living in. So I agree.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I think I got under the skin
Hmm.
to say like those cerveza grande por favor.
Yeah.
That's
Muy bien.
muy bien.
I'm curious though, how's the sort of lockdown restaurant bar situation going on?
Yeah, it's fine right now.
Okay.
It is what it is. They can open until 5 right now.
Okay.
Because they can serve alcohol until 5
That's
5
very
p.m.
early.
It's very early. It's gonna change in what date is it? It's gonna change in 8 days. So
Okay. Next
10 or
week
11,
after.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the situation right now. Uh, for restaurants.
Yep.
That's the only restrictions that they actually have.
Okay.
Which is also a kind of shitty restriction because people are working normally until late hours, and in Spain you are going for dinners very late.
Yeah.
They have a dinner like 10.
Yeah.
It's
That's how
super
it is. Yeah.
super weird.
So they can't do that, right? If
No,
everything goes to 5.
yeah, they can't do that right now.
Okay.
But in a week or so they can
It'll
start
change.
doing it again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they said at least.
Well,
they can change their mind pretty fast.
yeah,
Anyway, so.
they can. That's
But
So far
hopefully
here
it will
in
be like
Denmark,
that.
it's been okay. I've been going around into the city, and everything is just jam packed.
I can imagine.
All the people are just going out. Everything is just packed.
Also see people on Instagram posting shit all the time. It's like
So
finally out or something.
more or less sort of life back to normal. more or less.
More or less. That's good.
All right. So since you were doing a similar project with swap fleets here in Denmark, and now you've moved on to doing it in Spain with what is it, Kleta, right?
See.
Yes, got it. With Kleta, I'm curious, sort of how does it compare, and then sort of I know you because you and I have talked about how it was for you working in swap fleets, because that was a big company, and it had a lot of sort of organizational, hierarchy stuff going on that big multinational companies do, because swap fleets is in a lot of countries now. Sort of, maybe talk about that also. How does that compare? And just, maybe you can share some of your experiences.
Well, it's a lot different to do business here. It's a culture thing, I think, because people here they're not usually biking that much. They're adapting it right now because it's the easiest way to get around, and also the municipalities are pushing it more.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is that people are scared here to get their bike stolen. That's the main concern right now. So people don't want to bring their bike up in their apartments. That's why they don't have a bike. So that is what we in Kleta try to solve by letting them know that you can actually let your Kleta sleep outside.
Yeah.
So you
that is a
shouldn't
very
worry
big
about that.
Cultural barrier compared to Denmark, because people leave their baby carriages outside here. It's fine. Nobody here cares.
Yeah, it's like everyone trusts whatever, and of course there's also theft in Denmark, but it's on a different scale, and it's also normally the thieves are going for better bikes.
Or bikes that are just unlocked and easy to steal.
Yeah, because in Denmark you don't put him to anything, like you don't lock him to a post or anything, like not all the times.
That's true.
Here you actually have to lock it at the stations. They have bicycle stations, sort of like a thing that you lock your bike to.
Yeah, a frame.
Yeah, and you actually have to do that. If you do it outside that area, the police can take your bike.
Okay, the police will take your bike. Okay.
Yeah, and then you
they
need
just
to pay
don't want other
fees.
people stealing it.
I don't know what the deal is. I don't think they want bikes everywhere.
Okay. But
so,
how big is like bike culture compared to Denmark? Because here everybody bikes. Everybody owns a bike. All the roads on like all the streets in the entire country have bike paths. So it's
yeah.
How does that compare?
It is different because Denmark is like the second biggest bike culture in Europe.
Yeah, behind like Belgium. What is no Netherlands?
Netherlands, yeah. So it's different coming from a country where you're actually born on a bike to come here where there's people that haven't been biking in their life before. So the target group is also different. A bit older people now adapting to that. But I think we're going here in Barcelona in a direction where it's increasing a lot. Actually, there's a lot of people biking right now, and the municipality is also pushing making bike lanes. There's actually a lot of bike lanes here. There's also a lot of places where they are not, and the traffic here is horrible. So it's good if you actually are experienced in biking around like a Dane would be. Then that's definitely a huge pro here. Because it can be when you're going on the big roads and a lot of cars and you have these 4 lanes like one-way streets, then it can be quite intimidating to go around in the cars. Like you don't know, because sometimes you ride on the left side, sometimes you ride on the right side. Sometimes you have a bike lane in the middle of if you have a huge street going both ways, then you have the bike lane in the middle. So you never know. You kind of have to. Sometimes you have both like bike lanes in both direction in one side of the street.
Yeah. So it's all over the place.
It can be quite confusing, and I know why. I understand why people hesitating to adapt this lifestyle, but it is increasing, and people are taking bikes more because it's cheaper, it's more efficient. Like Barcelona is a big city if you're walking. Barcelona is a very small city if you're biking, actually. So you can get around everywhere in 15-20 minutes around Barcelona on a bicycle. Way faster than a car, way faster than walking, of course. So people are getting their eyes open for that. I think only for the time saving issue.
And you say it's mostly older people?
No, like our target group is 35 years old. Typical Spanish woman with a kid. But of course we also have outliers. So there's younger people from studies, and we also have older people, of course. But that's the main group that comes and take a bike, actually.
And what kind of like are people riding just normal like pedal bikes, or are they also doing electric bikes? I know the electric ones are popular here. That's what I have, and it's like super.
Electric bikes is actually booming here, mainly in the delivery industry. We have I don't know if you know the startup called Global.
Yeah, we have that in Croatia actually. Yep.
Yeah, it's
they deliver everything. It's not just food.
Man, they deliver whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get from supermarket, you can get from everything, but a lot of these guys have pretty cool e-bikes. The thing is, like we don't see like the e-bike boom as we do in Denmark and other like Northern European countries with those quality e-bikes, because you simply can't afford it here. It's like the e-bikes in Denmark are super expensive. You know that also.
Yeah, I think the one that I bought was like 1,500 euros if you convert to Danish. Yeah, it was that's a lot.
Yeah, and you can also get like from that on up, you know.
And here, the one that I bought was the cheapest one. So yeah, you can go a lot higher with the price.
Yeah, exactly. So here people like if you're just riding around the city, it's quite flat compared to Denmark, I would say. Compared to Aarhus.
Hills everywhere, especially here in Aarhus.
So here it's quite flat if you stay within the city. I would say people say it's a bit hilly, but I don't see that. But if you go a bit outside Barcelona, it's getting quite steep.
How far is that? Like 10 kilometers farther?
No, it's right behind where I work. Actually, it started getting up.
Okay.
I work in an area called Gracia. It's still within like center Barcelona, I would say.
Okay.
But if like then we see a potential in the e-bike, and actually we have also I would call it a hybrid e-bike. It's actually our mechanical bike that we are converting into an e-bike. So we're putting like a kit on it that can assist
Yeah.
your pedaling.
Okay. That's cool.
So it is being an e-bike actually,
Yeah.
which is also cheaper. So our subscription is also cheaper than you would see anywhere else on the e-bike, and we actually see like people taking that also. So people also want to adapt that thing, e-bikes.
Okay.
So it's also going to be a thing. We have a lot of actually upgrades right now um, to that model, and also a lot that's taking that.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think it makes sense. I mean, I know are you still riding a normal bike?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's fine, but like, yeah, because I'm doing the delivery as well sometimes,
Yeah.
and when you have to bike like with heavy stuff on your back and you're doing it for like 3-4 hours up and down
Yeah.
hills,
Of course.
it's a killer. You really need the
Yeah, especially in Aarhus, it's that is horrible.
it is. But
You
it,
definitely
it, it
need
helps.
something like
But
that.
I'm curious, sort of how does the what do you call it, like the battery life, how is that looking? Because I think mine, it only lasts for like 3 hours, and that's when I'm doing at like max speed, and then sort of I need to be careful on my way home so I don't run out of battery. What's the
Yeah.
situation
Okay.
like?
Like the good thing with our hybrid e-bike
Yeah.
is that if you run out of battery, it's still just the mechanical bike with any
Right.
kit on. So it's not super. It's heavier than the normal bike would
Yeah.
be because you have the engine in the wheel.
Yeah.
And of course you have the battery, but our battery is actually not that big.
Okay.
Um,
Because mine, when
so
it
so you
does
can
run out,
still, yeah.
it's very heavy, and it's a huge
Yeah.
pain
So
in the ass to pedal it like a normal bike. Because
definitely.
I don't want to do that. So that's something I'm trying to avoid, and timing my battery management. But yours is lighter, you're
Yeah.
saying, right?
Yeah. So you can actually ride it as a normal bike
That's cool.
if it runs out. But I think we are covering around 40 kilometers
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
So it's quite decent actually. Of course, it depends on how you're riding,
Yeah.
but the thing is that you're not controlling like you don't have all the that you have on your steering that you can control how much it helps. It just helps, but it's proper e-bike,
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
And actually, our battery is quite cool. I have a picture of it if you want to see
Sure.
it. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. Okay. It looks
So
like it looks like a water bottle.
it looks like a thermal, like the
Yeah.
water bottle, yeah. So it's quite cool that people are, and you can take it like when you take it out, then you can also charge your phone with it. It also serves the purpose of a power bank,
Okay.
like
Okay. So it's
a
like a
huge power
universal
bank.
battery. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so that is
cool.
quite cool. Yeah,
That's cool.
definitely.
Yeah. Nice. And then I remember last time when we spoke about this a few months ago, you mentioned that uh, your competitor, where you were working before, SwapFeeds, was also planning on entering the market at some point. Have they done that? What's it like with them?
Yeah, Swapfies is here.
Okay. And how's it look?
Well, I see more Kletas than I see Swapfies,
That's good. That's good.
which is not bad for us. Like as you said, Swappies is a very big company and they're doing very well in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
What a local startup is doing very well in general, I would say, is adapting to the market.
Yeah.
Which is something that Kleta have been doing super good. Of course, we have been here in the market a bit longer. So of course we see more Kletas. I'm curious how the future would look. Of course, but yeah, I don't know how many they have on the street, but we have.
I would imagine that a big international company like SwapFeeds, they can just throw infinite money at advertising and sort of, I assume, beat you guys at that game, right? Because if you're a small startup, maybe
Well, definitely
you probably don't have the marketing budget that they do, right? When they're entering a new market.
I don't think we have.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would assume that your assumption is right.
Six people versus big multinational. I mean, yeah. I think but I'm just curious,
Yeah.
so sort of what other than I guess word of mouth and just like brand recognition, people seeing the bikes go around because Swap Beats, they have the blue tires, right? And
Yeah.
that's sort of their thing. When you see that, you know that that's a Swap Beats bike, which like I mean it works. I see it all the time. I think the brand awareness shows up. So I think that's
See.
very clever that they're doing. Are you guys doing anything like that? Maybe you can, and then also sort of like what is the marketing strategy? How are you guys sort of getting it out there?
Yeah. So answer the wheel question. We have a yellow tire.
Okay, nice.
Representing Spain and sun.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
more deemed down. I would say it. I think it looks very good on the bike. It looks natural. To be honest. So we have that's how you can recognize our bike, and it also says Kleta on the frame.
Yep.
And so that is our trademark. I would say marketing wise, we're actually not doing much right now. We get a lot of word of mouth. We're doing, of course, just social media, a lot of organic stuff actually, doing some cooperation with different companies.
Like what?
We have also like we had a cooperation with, I don't know what company it was actually. I'm not in that much actually, but where there was a lot of sustainable companies joining at a post on Instagram, where we also got a lot of traction from.
Sure.
Yeah, our referral program is also working very well. So people can refer each other.
And then they get like a discount or something, or
they'll get a discount on when they refer, and the guy that is referred will also get a small discount to sign up.
That's nice.
And then they can do the same, of course. So it's like a snowball effect.
Yep.
And actually, to keep up with demand, we're not pushing that much marketing. So that is actually quite good.
Yeah, that is good, because having too much demand when you can't meet supply is also a problem, and that's
especially in the field that we're working in, and not having enough bikes, that will be a problem. Yeah, they will just leave for another one. So right now we're not pushing that much. We have I think we have Google Ads going on. But that's also something we control with the demand. So sometimes we turn it off. Sure. But we are increasing quite fast, actually, without doing anything. So right now we're just riding the wave of.
Can you maybe share like percentages?
Of what?
Growth.
Oh, like the past month have been insane. Actually, we have probably increased. Let me just see, like around 50% last month, I think.
Yeah, that's
without doing much. So it is not bad. It's not bad, and that's also what I'm trying to do actually to as I said, to get this machine ready to scale. It's also a part of supply. So when we push the marketing button, like putting some money into that, then we can actually then we will see the explosion also in subscription, and we need to be ready for that.
Yeah. And how soon do you think that can happen? You said maybe like a few months, like 3 to 6 months.
It will happen within a few months. Like with, I think we're talking what month are we in now? May.
June. By the end of the summer.
We're talking. Yeah, we will talk like July or August, I think.
Okay. So yeah. And sort of what needs to happen? What is like the goal? Just like get enough bikes in stock, or what?
Yeah, it is like we already have the plan for that, so it is happening. But also getting like everything can be optimized. The guys that started it is not very familiar with how a workshop should work. So of course the mechanic knows how to do that. So I'm sparring with the mechanics how to make their life easier, because when their life is easier, then we have more bikes on the street, and we like the maintenance is also faster, so we need to be very very sharp on that. And also getting like there's a lot of small things that should be could
Always.
be and should be optimized always, yeah. But definitely here in the beginning, you just you just do like what you feel like in the beginning and see how it turns out, and then you need to try to make it better all the time, and that's what we're trying to do, and hopefully within in a few months all of that is brought down to a better stage, I would say. Like, of course, it can always be optimized, but we need to optimize a lot now to make it ready to scale it to another city. Because what we're doing now is what we should do in another city.
So right now
that
you're only in Barcelona, right?
right now we're only operating in Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay, and sort of how many like workshops around the city do you have?
We have one.
Okay.
We have one store, and that is where our workshop is.
Okay.
Is located.
And then, are you also planning on opening more within Barcelona, or maybe not? I don't know.
It's not the plan right now, but yeah, it depends. If the need is there, then we will do that. Of course, it will bring up like the cost of location is not
you
cheap.
have to rent a space and everything, sure.
Yeah. So actually, we're working on optimizing the whole like customer engagement by having like we are launching an app pretty soon. It's actually launched, but we are again we're optimizing that also because it is in the app store. It's working. It could work better.
And then that is for what, like scheduling an appointment, ordering a new bike, or what's the? Why do
it's going to be quite a game changer, I would say. It's definitely for scheduling appointments.
Okay.
Eventually, we are right now testing out smart locks, so it should also be the key. And actually, we will try to eliminate the customer interaction, so they don't have to be present when we actually need to repair it. And actually, right now we are repairing a lot of bikes without people being present.
You're able to give them a new bike, like.
Yeah, that's going to be the game changer. So we can actually give a new bike, and just the key will be the same because that's your phone.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So people would actually not know if the bike was changed in the end, and that is the goal. That's the goal of optimization. That's my dreams is about that right now.
And I'm wondering, sort of what is the like current turnaround time? Like I come in, let's say my tire is broken. Do I just wait there for, I don't know, 30 minutes for the repair guy to fix it, or do I need to come back? Like, do I need to, wait in line, or how does the situation look?
Well, there's different scenarios. So a lot of people actually just schedule when there's something wrong with the bike, and then they just tell us where the bike is, and then we will fix it during the day. So they will have a working bike within hours, actually.
Okay.
If they come by the store. What do you mean
they tell you where the bike is? Like you go to the bike, or?
Yeah, then we have two mechanics. Then we have one of the road, and then he will just go. We have a really cool cargo bike that he will come with, and then he will repair it on the site.
Okay. That's cool.
And a lot of the repairs we can do without people being present, as I also said. So mainly they just need to tell where it is, and then when they come back to it, then it will be done.
Okay, that's cool.
But we also have people that come by with smaller issues. Normally, if you have a flat tire, you won't come by the store because then you need to drag it all the way. And as I said, Barcelona can be quite.
Sure.
No, Barcelona can be quite big when you're on foot. But we have people coming by, and then like smaller issues, they will just fix it right away. Mechanics are quite efficient, so if it's actually a tire that is flat, they can do it like within 10 minutes.
That's cool. Yeah.
So you will leave with the bike, and then you can have a coffee or a beer in the store and a good talk with us. Meanwhile, we're still trying to keep that the contact with the people. Still talking with them when they're there, and while the mechanics are working on their stuff, then serving a beer or a water or coffee, whatever they they want, and get to know the customers, because that's also very valuable for a startup to get also the feedback. And
It is. Yep.
and as you mentioned in the beginning of your podcast, you got some feedback, and you're adapting to that. We're doing the same.
You have to.
When they come to
that's how you innovate.
Yeah, exactly. So that's also where we are very good at localizing our product. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay. One thing I wanted to ask you about, since you mentioned this step thing is a problem, and actually I'm going to make a second point about it. But do you have any kind of GPS thing going on the bikes to locate them if they get stolen, or like if they're stolen, are they just what happens?
Yeah, actually, it's not a big issue. So we haven't done much about it. We have like the two lock system. So we have the wheel lock, and then we have a U lock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the very strong U locks. So and all people here are usually doing that because that's how we do here.
Yeah.
It's not like in Denmark that is a new thing that you lock your bike to something. This is what you do here.
Okay.
And we are like, our bikes is super recognizable right now, because we are having more and more of them. So it's not a huge target for thieves. So to answer your question, actually, no. Right now we are not tracking them.
Any plans to? And the reason why I asked that is because I just saw it was there was some announcement the other day. Apple, they announced their like key tag. They have this wireless. You've maybe heard about it. You can just attach
Yeah, I
it to
saw it on
something,
Instagram.
and then it's like their the like find your phone feature, but it's a little just microchip device that you attach to something, and it works with the same technology. And actually, it's the reason why it was even in the news. It's because it's not using Bluetooth like the normal find your phone feature things. It has some other sensor technology thing that it's sending out some other kind of wave that's like better tracking, better location tracking. So you can just put it on like basically any of your items, and if they get lost, it's super easy to find. And it like it's supposed to be a big thing for Apple, and Apple's doing cool stuff. So I don't know, is that maybe something that you could think about adding?
Like adding an Apple tag to our bike would
Maybe not an Apple tag, but like
would be quite expensive. But yeah, I got what you mean. It would definitely, on scale, I think it was something that we would look into. We have testing different smart locks, and some of them are with GPS. The problem with that is that you need to charge it more frequently.
okay, so it's using the battery, right?
Yeah. So with Bluetooth, is so much. It's better for our case right now because we don't need to charge it that often. So at the moment we will just be able to, with the Bluetooth lock, we will be able to, when it's connected to the app, to track where they last locked it.
Okay.
So that will be the tracking that we could do. But we have also been talking about doing tracking. But what we need to calculate is if it's actually worth it. Sure. Because like right now, as I told you, we don't have a huge problem with theft. It's very few incidents actually, and one of them was like his own fault. Anyways, and he was straight up like, it was my own fault, I lost my bike. Like that's how it is. So yeah, it happens. So it is very rare that we see it here. So right now we just put the discussion on pause because it's not really something that is urgent.
Makes sense.
And there's a lot of, in the startup, there's a lot of other urgent stuff that you need to, like, in the startup, you're just putting out fires, it's just like running from
left and right,
one project to another project, and just, so it's also about prioritizing the more important stuff right now, when it's not a big problem, so we can put it to the side a bit.
And I have one more question for you, because I think we're getting close to the end here. If we were to apply some theory to your scenario, if we look at this, the innovation curve, which is a very popular piece of what do you call it? Business theory. Sort of where are you guys in in the innovation and I guess innovation and adaptation curve? What is you're a startup, but sort of, how far are you up the slope?
Okay, so like I need to understand your question right. So are you asking about where, like, what kind of people we are getting right now? If it's the early adapters and the innovators, or
Yeah, let's start there. Sure.
Okay, cool. So I think right now we are passing the innovators and getting the early adapters.
Okay.
Because we are still like we have around 400 bikes on the street.
Yeah.
So it is still it's still a good amount, but it's still not a lot.
Yeah.
So I would say that we passed the innovators. They already approved the concept, so people are more likely to try it now. So we are probably in the early adapters, because it's still something that people need to understand how, like, it's not my own bike. Yeah, it's kind of your own bike, but you're just subscribing to it.
Yeah.
It's like it's something that you need to get people to understand how it actually works. Just like when leasing came out on cars, it's the same problem. People really need to understand what the hell is that about.
Yeah, and
not really my own car, but it's my own car.
The value you get by sort of
that's
kind of business model.
Pricing. Yeah, definitely. Like, what is in it for our users?
Yeah.
And they're slowly seeing the benefits when a bike breaks down, because if they have that bike or another bike, will break down eventually. Yep. And then they will see what it's all about. And that's like, we get very positive feedback from that part when it's actually going down, because if it's not breaking, then you don't see the real value of the actual product, because then you just have a working bike, which is nice. It's always nice to have a working bike, but it's always nice to also get it fixed when it breaks.
Yeah, and have the peace of mind that it can be done quickly and efficiently, and you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, you don't need to break your bank while doing it also, and wait
already in the
long time to get it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's good. And then there was the second part of the question.
Okay. Can you ask it again?
Yeah. So
no, I'm a bit old, so.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. And I think I'll put a graphic up of the curve, so people watching can sort of have an idea of what it is. But so the innovation and adaptation curve, you have your early adapters and innovators, and then you sort of have your 34% on one side, and then your late users the other 34%, and then you have the laggards at the end who will never, no matter how hard you try, ever subscribe to what you're doing. But that's just how it is sometimes. So we talked about the users, but then also in terms of company sort of growth. You've established yourself in Barcelona now. You're planning on going to a second city. Can you share what city it is?
I would love to, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
It's a matter of logistics. We need to calculate shit, and we have some in mind, but that's not something that will open up for.
Okay. Is it going to be something that's sort of close by, or I mean, I would assume Madrid, because it's the second big city.
But it's far away, right? Yeah, it's like 5 hours away, so it's not going to be Madrid in the first run. Definitely going to be Madrid at one point, but it's going to be here on the coast.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably, most likely.
Okay. So you have that going, and then sort of, I mean, maybe you've already mentioned it, but sort of what needs to happen for you guys to finally have that launch happen? I mean, is it just getting the logistics ready, or getting the bikes, or like,
Yeah, it's a combination of all
campaigns.
I think it's a combination of all the good stuff that you just mentioned. Right now, we're just fine tuning the last part of the workshop that we need to do.
Yeah.
When that is done, actually, I think like our store concept is ready to scale. Mm-hmm. We are already solving the bike supply, so it should be ready. But when you order larger quantities, it takes some time. So that's also a part of the scaling problem. So we need to have that sorted out before we can actually scale it to another city. And then of course we all like to do some marketing before we get to a city to know that we are there. I'll be coming. So that also needs to be sorted out, but it should be. I would say August to September should. That's some good months to scale, I think.
That's the goal. All right, that's cool. And then sort of what's the grand vision of Kleta? What is the end goal?
The end goal.
Yeah. Global bike domination.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've like for me, it will be like a lot of countries, of course.
Okay.
And try to keep it local in every country. I know it's very difficult when you're scaling and growing, but trying to localize as much as possible, because that's what I see is winning here right now.
Okay. So that's sort of the differentiator in terms of value proposition between you and some of the competitors.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I would say that.
I mean, I think that's good. I think definitely, if like you can build that personal relationship, that's definitely something people value, especially today when it's all phones and screens and sort of non-personal experiences. So if you can get the human touch, right? That's what it is.
Yeah. Everyone needs a human touch once in a while.
They do. All right. That's cool. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for this second episode of the podcast. Patrick, thank you so much for joining. And
thanks for inviting, man.
Absolutely. And hopefully, I think we can maybe, I don't know, at some point have you again. You can talk about how things are going in the future, how did
it went? All the things that you said.
Well, at what stage are we of the global bike domination, right? Are we fully assimilated yet? So yeah, thanks.
Definitely.
Thanks for being on.
I will be up for that.
Cool. I think we'll definitely want to do that. And thanks everybody who's listening at home to the second episode. And stay tuned. So I'm going to keep trying to have some interesting guests, both in English and probably in Croatian, just because
What about Danish?
If I could speak Danish well enough, I probably would. I think it's
okay.
I think it's a good way to do it, and I mean Spanish too if I could, right? But
next time we do it in Spanish. Yeah, definitely.
Our español has to be muy bien.
Exactamente.
All right. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.